K-A-T-T-E, like Kate, but like double T.
Right, let's go. Kia whanau, welcome back to the Jabez Makawe experience. Today I'm joined by Tori Kate.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going really good, yes. Thank you for flying me down to Napier, my first time.
No worries.
Yes.
The reason I brought you on here is I was scrolling through TikTok, you know, as we all do. And I come across this video and you were talking about people stealing your content. And I was like, wow. I haven't seen much chicks that do OnlyFans like you do OnlyFans.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few of them out there. That's where I got the inspo from. But yeah, I think not many people talking about it.
Yeah, like no one's like just going on TikTok and talking about like what goes on in it.
Yeah.
On TikTok, I found that quite interesting because I guess there's a stigma that like most of the chicks on there just fuck bimbos or.
Yeah.
Do you get that much or?
I haven't had too many people judging me right off the bat. I mean, I'm not too big on there yet, and the people who know me in my life know that I'm not just like some dumb bimbo sort of thing. So it hasn't been too bad like that, but I think from what I've noticed in my comment section on TikTok, people tend to judge OnlyFans like that, and they just have commented things like, oh, you whore, or like, oh, selling content online, like not really realizing that I'm like a whole person behind it.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of women on OnlyFans who are whole people and just like really intelligent, and this is just one avenue that they're pursuing.
Yeah, the thing that really intrigues me is like, what's the mindset of someone that like, because you haven't always done it, like.
No.
What's the mindset that
got me to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, about a year ago, I was starting to think about it. I had followed a few people on Instagram, like New Zealand people and international people who were doing OnlyFans. And I was looking at the content that they're creating through Instagram and their other socials and just thinking, you know, this is something that I could do. And I was researching into it, thinking, oh, they're actually making money from this. I was looking to make a bit more money. Yep. So I just really researched into the industry, and then I wanted to do it. Like, this is kind of like sexy photos and things is content that I was creating anyway, just for my own enjoyment. So I was like, why not capitalize off it?
But did you like think? How did you realize that there was potential for you to do like to like actually do it? Like, did you know you were good looking, or did you?
I mean,
you can hit up heaps on Instagram, or
I think external validation plays a big part in it. Like, I don't want to come across like I'm super up myself, because I'm really not. It's just that I do recognize the external validation I get from people, and I do understand that other people find me attractive. Like, I'm not saying everyone thinks I'm like the hottest, but I understand that that's something that draws people to me, and people want to see that sort of content from me. And it's content that, I mean, I like taking photos of not to sound too up myself, but I enjoy taking photos of myself, making myself look aesthetic, making myself look hot, and I just get validation from myself taking those photos. And so
does it make you feel a certain type of way when you're taking the photo?
It makes me feel really confident. I feel real empowered and confident. And like, I mean, I know like my friends and stuff, like we've talked about it, and like people take photos of themselves and they get a new lingerie set or whatever and they take photos in it, and you're like, yo, I look hot. And
I need some of those friends.
It's a bit of fun. Yeah, you do. But it's a bit of fun, you know, and it's enjoyable. And I sort of came to a point where I was like, I could share this stuff. Like it's not for validation. It's I'm sharing it for a financial reward.
Yeah.
And then there's other things.
So you're sharing it to make money.
I am sharing it to make money. Yeah. I mean, there are other things that come into play when I'm like using the OnlyFans platform that aren't just about financial reward, but me starting this was in pursuit of more money for sure.
Yeah. How long have you been on there?
I think about 2 months now, so not super long, eh? Yeah.
And what about like how long did it take you to make the decision to like fuck I'm gonna do it? Because I imagine like it would have been a lot of like, oh, if I do this then this could happen. If I don't do it, then this, you know, like.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about it for about a year.
Yeah.
And it kind of all came about because I was following people who were doing it, celebrities, and then also just like normal New Zealand girls. And then, I was just really researching into it, listening to podcasts about it, really thinking about, is this something that I'd be comfortable with, like future me seeing?
Listening to podcasts, you ever think you were going to be on one talking about the very same thing?
I hoped so, eh? Like, I mean, that's what I was saying to you before. I was like, I feel like I manifested this. Like, this is
I'm a big believer.
Yeah.
I feel like you did, like, because I happened to come across your TikTok.
Yeah.
I was already looking for to get someone to come on and talk about OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm.
And you articulated yourself well, so I felt like you could hold a conversation. I didn't know you.
Yeah.
I just felt like, she can hold a conversation. Like, it's good to be pretty, but like, if you're just going to bore everyone, then...
I mean, it's cool because being opinionated, is something that I've always been. I've always enjoyed articulating my opinion. Mm-hmm. And I had hoped that I'd be on a podcast, not necessarily for this, but I don't mind being on it for this, but just any chance to get my opinion across, I'm up for it.
And then how's it sort of been, like, once you made the decision? You're like, fuck yeah, I'm going to do it. How's it been since then? How's it been received?
It's been pretty good. Because I talked to my friends and family about it before I even started it, so I got that anxiety out of the way. So that was really my biggest fear, was like, how are the people who are closest in my life going to react? And once I got that out of the way and realised that it's not the end of the world and that they're still going to love me.
So you didn't get any like negative reactions?
Not from the people I'm closest with. Like, the most was just my mum being worried and me just comforting her about it.
What about, like, because I know, like, say this the right way, females can be like real catty, or I imagine you had like a friend circle of chicks, like maybe you used to hang out with them, you don't so much anymore. Like the word gets around. Any of that kind of
No, I mean, I've always just surrounded myself with really positive people who are just supportive, non-judgmental. That's how I've always been. I've always liked people like that. I've never bothered to surround myself with people who judge me. Even in high school, even in intermediate, like even in primary school, I was very just like, if you're going to be a bitch, like, I don't want to be friends with you. Yeah. And
was there a moment you knew you're like, oh, fuck, I'm pretty, or like, because like to go on OnlyFans, you need to know like that men are like simping.
Yeah, you need
you know?
to.
Like, was there a moment when that came along? I was like, oh, fuck, like people were treating me a certain type of way.
I think. Well, do you know what? I started posting more, I guess, sexual or like more explicit content on my Instagram.
Yeah. Which Instagram?
Just my main Instagram, which is just like my personal life sort of stuff. So
don't tell them that one. What's your Instagram? Say your
Instagram. Tori Kate. So it's Tori, TORIKATTE. But my other one is public anyway. But it's cool. But I started posting more photos like that. I was just feeling myself a bit more, I guess, and just taking those photos, and I just sort of said, fuck it, I'm just.
Did you have like heaps of dudes in your DMs?
Like some. Like now I have more.
Tell me the truth.
Well, I mean, I haven't ever had like. I've only started recently growing my social media. So before, it was private for ages, and then only recently have I been starting to try and grow it for like business purposes. But yeah, I mean, I have gotten DMs. I guess like you get attention from men, and then you're like, you understand that they find you attractive. Yeah.
So then there was something that was said like, actually I can monetize this. Like OnlyFans come along, so you've seen the platform.
Yeah.
You've already been getting this attention. There's a way to monetize this.
Yeah, I thought that I could monetize it more because I was looking at the content that these other girls were creating, and I was already taking photos like that myself just for me. And I was thinking, I was comparing them and going, well, I'm doing this stuff anyway. I feel like people would find this hot. I mean, it's hard. Yeah, it's hard to explain how you receive that validation and how you understand that people want to see.
I find that real intriguing. It's like as a man, like because like some chicks get a lot of the attention, but like there's chicks that don't, because men are so visual.
It's true, yeah. Men
like we say visual, like we just go on like if you're hot or not, like.
Yeah, it's funny because I went through puberty quite late, and so I remember the exact day where I was like, oh, have I gone through puberty now? Are people finding me hot? Because I was like quite short and like just, like not that I'm super curvy now, but like I was just like straight up and down, And then I remember I was walking past like these classrooms just for some reason. I'd gone to the office or whatever, and I was walking past these classrooms, and I remember like boys wolf whistling at me. Yeah. And that was the first time since really primary school that I'd received like male attention. And I remember thinking like, oh, okay, like am I noticed by boys now? Yeah. So I think that's really the first moment that I started receiving.
And did you
male
continue
validation.
did you continue to receive that like from that point, or? Yeah,
like I mean, through high school. I mean, I don't want to come across like, oh, I'm so fucking hot. Like, it's not that I think that. It's just that I'm observant. Like I notice that people have given me attention.
In my mind, the way I think, like there has to be, like you can't like think you're not hot and then go do OnlyFans. Like, you know,
I get your point. Like
there's got to be something that says in your head, whether you've been getting validated from here, there, anywhere, that says actually like people will pay for this. Like, because like I imagine it's like it'd be pretty fucking like freaky to do that, like.
Yeah, I mean, it's
until you've
scary.
done it.
It's like daunting because it's daunting because you're portraying yourself in this sexual way to people that haven't seen you like that before. The only people
and you don't
really
know who they are, right? Like,
no, it's like all anonymous unless they put their name on there. But otherwise, it's like user 7478, like whatever. Or people like there's one guy that's like Big Black.
Yeah, shout out to Big Black.
Shout out to Big Black. He's a great paying customer.
Tip the girl. Come on, Big Black. Let's go tip. Yeah.
Show me another $100.
My man, Big Black. Yeah.
But it is all anonymous. So I don't know. Like I know that people I have known or do know have subscribed just hearing through the grapevine. Yeah. And that's something I accepted. Like I just knew it wasn't going to be all people I don't know.
I seen fucking Tori's pussy.
Guys, my pussy is not on my OnlyFans. By the way, Mum, my pussy is not on my OnlyFans.
Shout out to Mum.
Shout out to Mum. I told her she's going to listen to this. That my pussy is not on there. Not yet.
Apologies, Mum. I didn't know you were watching. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's not at that level yet. But my sister's friends or like just people I kind of know, you just hear through the grapevine.
That's what I was trying to get into with like the catty energy. Like I was wondering, like, I just feel like I know what chicks are like.
I mean, I'm sure there are people who are not enjoying me right now because their boyfriends are like creeping and stuff. And I understand that because I would feel the same. Like it's hard not to feel.
Are you in a relationship?
No, I'm not. No. Got to be single in this industry.
That's what I'm saying. Like, would you have done the same thing if you were in one, or?
I don't know. It probably would just depend on my partner. Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't think this is stopping me from getting into a relationship. It's just that at this point in my life, I'm not interested in getting into a relationship. Yeah. But if I was to, I don't think that me doing this would necessarily affect that.
So Big Black might be in, eh?
Big Black might be in. Yeah,
shout out to Big Black.
If Big Black is not all talk, then Big Black might be in.
But yeah, so you would have just navigated that if that was the case and you were in the relationship sort of thing.
Yeah, and like I think with the right person who's secure in themselves, it would just be a conversation of like, hey, look, this is what I post and this is how I interact with people, and just maybe setting some boundaries if there's certain things that they're not comfortable with, because I do understand that if you're in a relationship with someone, giving other people this much sexual attention, it would be a lot to wrap your head around. But I mean, I'm not in a relationship. Are you like
yourself? You feel like you're quite a jealous person, or you're quite like the opposite, or like if your man was like doing the OnlyFans thing, would you like? You know, how would you feel?
I mean, like it's a little. I mean, I'm going to sound so hypocritical right now, but it is a little different. Well, it would just depend how they're seeing it, because in my mind, I'm not like the sexual attention that I give to other guys. It's not, there's no emotion really attached to it, or there's no,
but that doesn't,
it's separate in my head though.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna educate you.
Okay, educate me.
When we're having sex with a woman, might not be our girlfriend, like what?
It's not emotional.
It's not emotional.
I have
There's
heard
absolutely
that.
no fucking emotion. Like we could have sex with someone and not give a fuck about them, you know.
So toxic.
That's crazy, eh? But that's
crazy.
That's how men. That's how men
it
are.
Is. I know.
With a woman, I know it's you got to have connection.
It's an emotional thing. Yeah,
you got to have connection. You got to feel safe. We don't care about any of that shit. Like it's like.
That's true.
I'm just hearing you say like. It's not emotional for you.
Well, it's not emotional in the same way. Like I can separate my romantic personal connections with like online OnlyFans connections.
Yeah.
It is separate in my head, and maybe that's how I'd explain it to my partner. But from what you were saying, like if my partner or someone I was romantically interested in was doing the same things that I was, yeah, I probably would be a bit jealous. So I understand where the jealousy comes from. And I don't think this is something I'm going to be doing forever. So, you know, by the time I get into a relationship, maybe I would have stopped, or, I mean, this is probably more of a single woman's industry, but I mean, there are lots of people in relationships who are in the sex industry who are doing these sorts of things, and it works for them. Yeah.
For sure. So, they definitely can't count it out. I was just wondering how
my brain works.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
situation.
I can be quite a jealous person. I mean, I try and
I feel like all women are jealous.
Straight
up.
Do you know what it is? We want focused attention. You know, you women want to feel special, and so when we're not feeling special, we just feel like one of the masses. Then it's like, I just wanted to feel like the one. Yeah,
I heard that a lot with my ex-girlfriend. She sort of thought like there was always chicks hitting me up just because I got a following on Instagram. But like,
were there?
No.
Okay.
Like it's way different being a dude. Like,
yeah.
I've seen some chicks DMs and it's like fuck. Like
that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, there's like.
But I understand how we are. Like we'll just shoot our shot. Like.
Yeah. But I mean, for me personally, like a lot of the men who hit me up, I don't want to say this in a mean way, but like they're not necessarily people I'd be interested in return all the time. Like, a lot of it is more like creepy encounters. That sounds really, I don't mean to sound mean, but that's just how I view it's facts. That's how I view it, So I don't really reply to people too often. Yeah. So if you're not hot, bro, you're a creep. Oh, it's kind of sad, isn't it? Like a little bit. You could message. You could message the. You could message the creepy shit. You could message the exact same thing. I feel like it's only creepy if the guy's like, if you don't find the guy attractive. If you find the guy attractive, well, then you're just like, you know. Yeah, but how is it for guys too? Like, if it's a hot girl saying shit versus someone you don't find attractive, similar vibe. I feel like girls aren't coming at guys in that same way with that same energy, and it's quite unattractive if they do. Like, if there's no, because for us, we want to feel like we have to go hunt it, you know. Like, and if
And if it's like put on a platter,
Yeah.
you don't want it.
No, do you know what's so funny? I just thought of this, like, so this is like a real out there thing to say, right? Like, damn, when can I take you out, right?
Yeah.
And if it's like a guy you find attractive, like this happened to me.
Yeah.
It's like, if it's a guy you find attractive,
Yeah.
like I went out with this guy because I'm like, yo, like,
That's
I
chicks
see.
always say that, like,
It's true.
fucking, this dude's a creep, this is a creep. Well, you're only a creep if she doesn't find you attractive. If she finds you attractive, like, fuck,
It's a sad truth, isn't it? But like, whatever. Just put yourself out. Put yourself out there. If you get rejected, don't take it too personally.
Do you feel like you prefer to get approached like in real life rather than like some dude? Do you feel like it's a bit like?
Yeah, I mean, I prefer to get approached in real life, sure. But I mean, if there's a vibe, there's a vibe. Like if it's online and we're attracted to each other and then we get along, that's fine.
Your name's Big Black.
My name's hit me up, Big Black. Let's see what you look like.
You're in.
Send me a photo of your big.
She wants to see the Big Black touches my guy.
Prove it. Or change your name. What the fuck?
Yeah. So So talk me through the business side of things, like
the business side. Yeah. So
but like just let's break it down because there might be some people watching that don't really understand like what OnlyFans.
Yeah.
How it actually works.
How it works. Yeah. Okay. I'll start talking about it and just interrupt me when you have a question.
Cool.
So it's a website, and so you have like a main feed type thing where you post your photos.
It's not Pornhub, it's different.
It's not Pornhub, no. It's not Pornhub.
keep going, sorry.
It's a website and you post like all these different photos on it. You just post whatever you want. So like, I don't know, lingerie photos, swimwear, whatever you want.
Yep. So it's kind of like Instagram?
Yeah, it's kind of like Instagram, sort of like a feed.
But you pay to...
Or like Twitter. Yeah, so you can have it free. You can set your subscription price to whatever. I think there might be a maximum you can set it to, but yeah, you can just set it to whatever.
Yep.
And then you can like put subscription bundles, like, you know, if you buy 3 months, you get a 50% discount or whatever.
Oh, okay. You set all that stuff yourself?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty easy. Like, they kind of calculate it for you if you just say like, 50% off if they... Yeah, I don't know. They like calculate it all for you, but yeah, you can set your subscription. It's pretty easy. And then people just, when they sign up for your subscription fee, so they pay for it. And then they can see your main feed content. You can set it so they can DM you, or some women set it so that, or some content creators, they set it so you have to pay them. You have to pay to DM them. So you can just kind of...
So there's all different kinds of paywalls?
There's all different kind of paywalls there. So if you have a free OnlyFans site, then you can put your content behind a paywall on your main feed.
I feel like if I had a Big Black, then I might be able to do it, you know, but I don't have a Big Black.
You have a small brown.
Flat white.
Flat? I haven't heard that before. That might be worth putting behind a paywall. People might want to see that. Unique.
Out of it.
But yeah, so you can put it behind a paywall. I mean, yeah, there's all sorts of different ways that you can make money from it. What I do is I have a subscription fee. People can see my main feed, and then I just do like free to chat, so you can DM me for whatever. If I have like a tip menu, so if you want like custom content or specific things, I have like specific amounts you pay for that.
Yep.
And then I send around what's called PPV, like pay-per-view content, which is more explicit content that I set at a price, and you can pay to unlock those photos or videos or whatever it is. So that's how
people
works.
like hit you up like, oh, can you send me a picture of your feet? Sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, people have. I've sold a few feet pics. Actually.
I don't know what the
if you want to see these bad boys, subscribe. But
I've got big black feet.
Maybe that's what he means. They can ask for custom content, and I just kind of leave it pretty open. It's just dependent on what I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
So
and are you like chatting back and forth in these?
I do, yeah. I mean, I don't know if everyone does that. It just depends on the person. For me personally, I enjoy talking to the people that subscribe to me. I enjoy the connection part of it. Like talking to them about just like normal daily shit.
Are they like in there like complaining about their girlfriend or complaining about like their job or? Are you like an outlet for them, or
a little bit? Some people, yeah. Some people talk to me about like their hobbies, what their interests are, their day. Like have had some philosophical conversations. Like, it just kind of depends on the person where it goes.
Yep.
Like one guy showed me his like short. He was real into film, and he showed me his short film. He like linked it to me. It's on YouTube. And that was actually real sick.
Don't dox him.
He was no, I won't. But like, he was real talented. Like, it was real
Big
cool.
Black?
It wasn't Big Black. No.
Oh.
Big Black. Send me some of your hobbies. Like, send me some content. Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, people kind of let you in to who they are. They like confide in you about stuff.
Sounds like being a barber.
Well, it is not, because it's anonymous, right? And
but so that gives an extra layer of safety for that person. Then I guess so.
It does, yeah. And then I think if you are someone that people just naturally feel comfortable with, and you are just easygoing, easy to chat to, then they just want to talk to you. They want to open up, and I feel like I try to be that person.
I feel like you got the, like next door. Oh, not next door. Girl next door.
People have told me that before.
Yeah, you've got that hardcore like girl next door sort of vibe. So
that's
I can see
my
why.
Brand.
Yeah, I can see why people would be like, oh, it's like cool to chat to her.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're like hardcore like blonde bimbo sort of buzz, it might be a bit different. I don't know.
Yeah, I think everyone's got their niche. Like everyone's.
All right, we're back. Technical difficulties. Take 26.
Real technical difficulties this time.
Take 69.
We're back.
Out of it. Yeah, one question I wanted to ask before we cut out was, what's the most out of it? Like out of it.
Like out of it?
Like out of it.
Okay. Request I've ever gotten?
Yeah, request I've ever gotten in the DM. In the OnlyFans DM.
Well, the most out of it request I got was actually on Reddit, because people direct message you, like you promote on Reddit, and then they can direct message you on there. And because some people don't like using OnlyFans for whatever reason, they don't like it coming up on their bank statements. They might have wives, they might whatever.
Oh, so they just low-key hit you with the bank transfer.
Yeah, or PayPal. Yeah. PayPal's a good one. So I didn't actually go through with this one.
Ladies, check your bank statement for PayPal.
Do check your man's statement, because he's
for PayPal.
Yeah, he's in my DMs. But the weirdest one was this guy who was really turned on by the Ben 10 transformational sequences. So do you know what Ben 10 is?
Nah.
Ben 10 is like this kid's cartoon show.
Yeah.
And it's this guy called Ben, and he has a watch. Yep. And he dials. I've never actually watched it, but I learned a lot from this guy.
Yeah.
He dials this watch, and he's got 10 creatures that he can turn into, and he dials it to one of them. He slaps this watch, and he turns into one of these creatures, and he just like morphs into a creature.
Yeah.
So this guy messaged me and was like, "I'm really turned on by these Ben 10 transformational sequences," and he sent me a YouTube video which outlined all 10 of the sequences, and it was this cartoon kid turning into these big monsters, and what he wanted to do was have like a video call, watch these YouTube videos and discuss what was happening. Yeah. And that was, and obviously that, to it.
So he was just jerking off while...
Well, he would have.
Well, what were you? What was your role in that?
Discussing what was happening, I guess, like talking about, I don't really know. I'm assuming he would want me to be like, oh my God, like he's ripping out of his shirt and like transforming into this monster.
Bit of ASMR.
Like a bit of ASMR, like describing what was happening. I never did it. It's not that I was against it. I found it real interesting. It's just that I was away at the time, and then I just kind of couldn't be bothered, to be honest.
But I feel like that would have been easy. That would have been a bit of easy money right there.
A bit of easy money, eh?
Didn't have to take your clothes off.
I know, but it was just like, that's just the weirdest. I mean, there's lots of weird requests you get. I mean, a lot of the weird requests are like sexual ones, which I won't go into too much detail. You can probably just guess. Feet's a thing.
I don't know. I don't get it. I'm like, I've
never
been a feet.
People like
thing, but I do
souls.
I do know, like, that's a big fetish.
It's a big fetish. I've got quite a few like feet Instagram accounts following me. Do you know what? I posted this one photo.
Feet Instagram accounts.
Yeah, feet Instagram accounts, like
Damn.
soul lovers, like
Soul lovers.
Shout
out to soul lovers.
I got posted on one of their Instagram accounts once. They messaged me and they were like, send us some feet pics, we'll promote you, and then like people will subscribe to your OnlyFans because they want feet pics.
Yep.
It worked, eh? Like
straight up.
Yeah, it worked.
Damn, so you got to like. Big Black might have been one of them. He might.
Big Black might have been
might be a bit of a feet lover.
He might be a feet lover. There are people who are into feet, and like no shame. Like it's cool. It's easy for me too because.
Well, I imagine that's got to be a lot easier than anything else. Like feet, like
yeah. I mean,
because you're not really.
Because you don't mind your feet being on the internet. It's not really so much a thing to think about because you don't even really need your face in it a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, feet's a big one for people. Like souls, I don't personally 100% understand it, but I don't judge it.
Yeah.
And like it's good for me, good business.
What's the mindset that goes into like, because I imagine you're getting all sorts of like things and different kind of money offers. Like,
yeah.
Some people could find that quite tempting.
Yeah.
How do you keep yourself safe or
like set my boundaries?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I talked to my therapist about this before I started OnlyFans and just said to her, like, look, this is what I'm looking at doing. I don't want to affect my mental health. Like, what do you think about this? And we discussed it a lot. And she said, you really need to think about, first of all, what your core values are and align what you're doing to your core values. Second, you need to think about what it is you're not willing to do.
Yep.
And what it is that you think will affect your self-esteem and draw a hard line. You don't cross that line at all, no matter what the money offer is.
Yeah.
You're not crossing that line, and you can always reassess, but give yourself a few months between each like boundary reassessment. And so that's what I've done, and so far my mental health stayed very quite good. Yeah. Because I haven't been crossing those boundaries, and people have offered like ridiculous amounts of money for whatever, like in-person meetups or certain content, and it's stuff that I'm not comfortable with, so I just don't do it.
I've been going through therapy lately.
Yeah.
Just dealing with a few personal things that
I mean, it's good.
Been quite tough, and that's been an experience in itself, like sitting across from the therapist, and they're like, yeah,
well, mine's online, eh? Like
really?
I do mine over just like a website, just like a virtual thing. Yeah. But I know what you mean. It's a pretty confronting experience.
Yeah, because you don't know what's going to come up or where you might. You've got to really trust that person.
Personal question: have you cried during a therapy session yet?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, all the time, eh?
All the time.
Because they trigger you with shit and they say stuff and they're like, "What's your real?" They get your real thoughts. Yeah. And they get you to be honest with yourself for like what you're really thinking, and then you say it out loud and you're like, holy shit, like that's fucked up, like, and then you cry about it, eh? But it's super therapeutic. Like, I think therapy is such a great thing to do.
Makes you feel good. I'm at a stage now where I need to combine it with a bit of action as well. Like,
I mean, you can't just do it by itself, eh? You need to start having some daily practices. Yeah. I mean, routine. Do you do cognitive reframing?
No, what is that? Talk to
me. I'll talk you through it.
Yeah.
So it's ABCD, and you reframe your thoughts, really. So when you find yourself going into like a negative thought pattern, you want to start with A, what was the activating event? So what happened to make you feel the way that you're feeling right now? Just plain facts. B is the beliefs, like the thoughts that came out of that. This is the main focus, really understanding what your thoughts were from that event. Like, you need to get into your true thoughts, because you know how you cover shit up and you try not to really think about how you're really feeling? Get into that deep thought. See consequences, how you are feeling from those thoughts. So, like, you might be feeling just, like, really sad, you're crying. What are the consequences? And then D, you need to dispute your thoughts. And that's in two parts. The first part is your thought true? So, like, you might be thinking, oh, my God, like, am I a piece of shit, or like, am I not enough? It's like, no, that's not true. And you leave that thought there. You go, it's not true. There's no point thinking about this. If the thought is true, the second question is it helpful? Like, is it helpful to think these things? Usually, fucking no. No, never. So you throw that thought away, and you need to be reframing the thought into something that's more healthy for you to think, more helpful.
Can you give me an example of a time when you've used that? Like you might have been having certain thoughts.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, an example. I've got a little therapy book that I write in, so if I had it, I would have read something out from a day. But I don't know. I might get. How can I link this to OnlyFans? Okay, let's say someone commented some like hate or something, or they said something negative towards me. That's the activating event. My thoughts from that might be like, oh, is what I'm doing wrong? Yep. Am I like a whore? Yep. Am I not enough as a person? Yep. And that consequences from that makes me feel sad. It makes me feel alone. Like it makes me feel just like disappointed in myself, whatever. And then dispute that. Like, are those thoughts true?
But then you miss.
They're not.
Because it disputes the D, isn't it? Or
D's, yeah, D. Okay. So the last point is like.
Sorry, but you're on A.
So I was on A. Yeah. Then I moved to B.
Yeah, you went straight to D.
No, I didn't.
You went straight for the D.
No, I didn't. I fucking said.
No wonder you're on OnlyFans. You went straight for the D. Oh, you did say the beliefs. Did you?
I said the beliefs. There's like.
What was the belief related to
the beliefs are your thoughts? Like
no, but related to that, to the person leaving the comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the example.
Yeah. So if they send me hate, and my thoughts from that might be like, oh, is what they're saying true? Am I a whore? Am I doing something wrong? Okay. And if you dispute that and go,
no, but then the C.
I see consequences. Like, am I a disappointment? Or like, I feel sad. I feel like a disappointment. I feel. Okay. And then D, like, it's not true. Like, I mean, all you have to do in life is justify things to yourself, right? Like, as long as you are staying true to who you are and your values and you're just being a good person to you, that's really all that matters.
Is this something that you learned in therapy or you don't like?
I mean, I learned to be better at it in therapy. Yep. Like before going to therapy, I definitely was a bit more down on myself. And I didn't know how to reframe my thoughts. So my thoughts would just stop at like, oh, you're a piece of shit. Yeah. And that's where I would sit in for a while. Whereas now it's like,
what kind of things would you do when you were in that zone where you're like having those thoughts? Because for myself, like when I'm like depressed, I'll just stay in bed and.
Oh, see, I'm the opposite. I'm because it's like it's depression, but it's like mixed with anxiety. It's quite like anxiety fueled depression. Yep. So it's very much like I try and distract myself. So I'm very much like I hate sitting with my depressive thoughts. Yeah. I'll just go and do whatever, like go for a walk, go for a drive, go hang out with someone. Just
is this when you're like fully depressed or like when you're trying to get out of it? Like,
I've always maybe I don't know if I feel like I have been through depressive stages, but I'm just someone who I hate sitting in. I hate sitting in the depression, which is a good thing. But also, I just always distract myself from those thoughts. So maybe more of my focus has been actually sitting with the thoughts. Yeah. That's what I find really hard.
That's what happens when you're in therapy too. You have to.
I mean, that's what I try and do now. I've always been someone to avoid the thoughts, keep busy, do whatever, avoid it.
I feel like for myself, I always start. That process starts like a couple of days before I know I got the session too.
Yeah.
I've got to start,
Yeah. But I mean, I've just tried to be a bit healthier with it now. Yep. But now when I have those thoughts, I try and sit in it and then I do the cognitive reframing. So I write it down, go from A to D and figure it out. And then it's pretty good. But I mean, also I'm on like medication. So that helps just balance out your brain chemicals there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
What would you say to someone who like, because before I went to therapy, I was so shit scared of going there.
Yeah, I know. It's scary.
I didn't know what, like, this person's going to judge me. Are they going to
like... You feel like a bit of a failure or something. You feel like, why can't I keep a hold of my own mental health? Like,
why can't I keep myself together? What would you say to that person? Like,
everyone needs help.
Yeah.
Like, there's no shame in it. I think the most helpful thing you can do for yourself is go, I want to be happier. I want to feel better. What tools can I use to make myself feel better? Yeah. Use a professional, bro. Yeah, like, use a professional, Hard. Use professionals for all sorts of things in life. Why is this any different?
Yeah, you don't want try and... you go to a professional, eh?
Yeah. Like doctors, whatever, this is just doctor for your brain. Sometimes you just need that person who understands how brains work to tell you, hey, these thoughts you're having aren't true. You're a good person.
They ain't serving you, bro. You're beating yourself up way too much.
Yeah, it's just that validation. I mean, before I went to therapy, I was talking to a few of my friends who were in therapy.
Yeah.
And they were just saying it's changed their lives. It's the best thing. The best thing about it is just having someone to validate your thoughts and to tell you when your thoughts are just tricking you. Yeah. And that's what I've gotten out of it too, is just telling someone your true thoughts and them going, you're a good person, like, that these things you're thinking aren't true, and like the way that you're perceiving yourself isn't true.
Just to bring it back to the OnlyFans thing.
Okay, we got to keep people engaged.
No, that was good. That engaged people, because like that's stuff that needs to be talked about.
Yeah.
You mentioned shame.
Yeah.
When you were talking just before. Has there been any shame you feel upon yourself for choosing to go down this route that's real stigmatized, or?
No, because I spent a long time justifying it to myself and just really thinking about whether it's something that I want to pursue, if it's like a thing to be ashamed of, and I decided that it's not. Whether other people see it that way, that's up to them. But to me, I don't think it's shameful.
So you don't feel it? You're not feeling like that at all?
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with expressing your sexuality.
Definitely nothing wrong making some motherfucking money.
But it's also like a super freeing experience and boosts your confidence a lot. Like, not just because people are validating you, but because you're putting your body out there. Yeah,
like, so you're like, and you're like looking at it, like, because like,
it's something to be. I found I'm really proud of myself, like genuinely so proud of myself for having the guts. And I'm not saying that people don't have guts if they don't do this, but like, I am so proud of myself for having the guts to do this. Like, I wanted to do this, and I've gone for the opportunity, and I'm putting myself out there, and I'm really proud of myself for that. I mean, like, it's a scary thing to do.
I did it. What would you like? Would you give it advice? Like, because when I originally asked, like, I went on my Instagram, so it's like, because I was like, fuck, people were like really intrigued about OnlyFans and stuff.
They're so intrigued.
I thought we're cool, like getting some views and shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, I put a post on my story and I was like, anyone know any OnlyFans chicks? I said it in a cheeky way. I was like, who's all the OnlyFans chick you guys are fapping to? Like, just for a laugh, but fuck, like, and I think that put off the guys from replying to the question story, but fuck, so many chicks were like, oh, this chick, that chick, and then I clicked on my head like, wow, there's all these women out there that are very intrigued about that whole OnlyFans thing, and what it's like and all that. So I imagine there's other, like you mentioned, you spent a year before you made the jump. There's probably a lot of women out there that are in that same sort of space at the moment.
They're just a bit scared about
there's the stigma, there's the shame, there's like there's also the fear of failure, right? Because you could you could do it, like, you're putting yourself right out there.
Yeah, you are. You have to not be scared of that fear of failure. Like, it's not like I've made it, I'm still in that growth phase. Like, there's still that chance of failure for me. For me, I spent that year really researching, understanding it, and also spent that year really letting go of how other people perceive me.
You seem quite calculated, like
I am, I overthink everything, so I'm very much an overthinker. So I like to make sure I want to do something before I do it. Yeah, I mean, I'm also a little impulsive. Like, once I set my mind to something, I want to do it.
Yeah, I feel you.
But I have to like make sure it's calculated. I have to make sure, like, okay, am I doing this in the right way? So I knew I was going to do OnlyFans when I thought about it, because I was like, I don't want to get to 80 and think, oh, I wish I'd done that. Yeah,
grandma ain't getting no tips. Grandma ain't getting no fucking tips. See,
look at my boobs back when I was 20.
I'm sure there's a small niche market, but I don't think grandmas getting any tips. And if we're being real, like there's a window, right? Like female beauty.
I mean, but there's a niche for everything as well as that though. Like there are older ladies doing this sort of thing too. Yeah, and definitely. People want to see it, But I think in terms of not having like dependents and like partners and just sort of being free to do whatever you want, express yourself.
Because it might be different if you had like kids and then
exactly, or like a long-term partner, or
your kid goes to school and is like, your fucking mum, I seen your mum,
exactly.
Fuck.
And that's something that my mum talked to me about was like, do you want to be like a parent and have this hanging over your head? And that's something you really have to think about is like, are you willing to justify this later in life? Yeah. And just me being who I am, I easily justify things to people. I easily stand up for myself. It's just something I always have done. Yeah. So I know I'm not going to have a problem with that. Like if some mum was to come up to me. I feel like when I'm looking at you, I feel like you give me those vibes like you could be a real bitch if you wanted to. I think I try. I mean, I'm a nice person.
Yeah, but I feel like...
But if someone like fucks with me, for sure, like... Yeah. I don't mind speaking my mind about things. Yeah. So I feel like if some... like bitch mom was to come up to me and be like, oh, you had an OnlyFans when you were 24, like I'd just be like, shut up, Karen, like I got my tits out and I went to Europe for it and I fucking shut up, I'm a mom now, like let me be. So I don't think that's going to impact me too bad mental health wise in the future, but it's not for everyone. I really don't think.
Okay, 3 good things, 3 bad things that you've experienced so far.
Okay, we'll start with good. 3 good things. Number 1, extra finances really helps, especially petrol prices going up, food prices going up. Honestly,
haircut prices going up.
Haircut prices going fucking $70 an hour, I swear to God. But yeah, I mean, it's nice to not have to worry so much because even though I earn all good, I have a day job, so even I earn all good money doing that, like, I don't like to have this constricted budget where I can't live my life. Like, I want to be able to go out for dinner and catch up with this person and go on a trip and do things like that. This allows me to do that. My confidence has gone up. It's not just the validation from other people, it's putting yourself out there and going, wow, I had the confidence to do that. What else can I do?
You're like whether people want to admit it or not, like what you're doing is business. Like you're providing a service for someone.
It is, yeah.
So like you're working for yourself, and there's like this massive empowering feeling about like, fuck, I went and earned that money. Like no one told me this. Like I went and done it myself.
Empowering. Yeah, I mean it is a whole confidence thing. And then third thing, like I'm learning a whole new industry. Like I am learning. These are valuable skills that I can carry on to other business ventures if I want to. It's a lot of marketing, like. Brand imaging, finessing, content creation, whole bunch
content
of
creation, like it's crazy, like the actual
modern world shit,
the actual stuff that has to happen on the back end. Because I see like
there's a lot of work.
A lot of chicks think, oh, I'm going to do that, I'm going to make all this money. Like, bro, if you can't. I'll tell you right now, if you can't build a following, like, you're like, how are you going to drive them there?
Yeah,
you got to be. You're going to get the 200 local dudes that follow you, like, and you might get 20 of them, but like
and maybe that's something I would say to people listening who are thinking about starting an OnlyFans. Like, I don't and didn't have a social media following. Like, my following's very limited. I've been building it from the ground up. Never been someone who's like super social media-y. So it's possible. Like, you just have to not care what people are thinking, because it is hard to do that, but like you want to build up your platforms, you can do that.
And I feel like you need to be yourself too. Like,
you do. Authenticity is like a big thing in this industry, because that's what separates you from other people. Like, it's a super saturated market, and people are only going to sign up to you and follow you if you offer something that other people don't. Which
the only thing you can offer in this world that other people
is
don't
being yourself.
Is your fucking self.
It's true. So those are the 3 positives. Negatives, people can be creepy. People can there's a lot of scamming out there.
You're only a creep if you're ugly, kid.
Or you can be a creep if you're good looking.
If you're good looking, well, you got to get a pass, my bro. You got to get a pass.
Yeah, I mean, you're less likely to be creepy if you're good looking. That's so mean, though.
And you got a big black.
size doesn't matter. It's okay. Okay, it matters a little bit.
Unless you got a big black, then it matters.
But yeah, like scam. I mean, number one, people are creepy.
Yeah.
That's a negative. Number two, there's a lot of scamming out there. You have to have your wits about you all the time. That's another thing I would advise people. Like,
By people, like,
seriously, do not trust anybody.
Man, people on this scammer shit on Instagram lately, I've been fucking posting about it heaps. Like, stop clicking on those motherfucking links. Like, or if someone like, oh, bro, you're not going to turn fucking $500 into 10 grand overnight. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah,
come on.
Or like one thing I would say, people message you and they're like, buy our silver package, bronze package, gold package. If you're in the OnlyFans market, like, you'll know what I'm talking about. People realize you're in OnlyFans and they have these fake accounts. They message you and they say like, $10 for the silver package will promote you on all these places, and it's bullshit. Like, they're just getting money from people.
Yeah.
So I just really would advise, like, do not trust people, and like, you really want to make sure people are legit. If they're approaching you, start looking for patterns in all these scammers, because they all do the same shit. So you'll start realizing.
Cool. Well, we're nearly about to
time out.
So yeah, we better wrap it up because that's like freaking an hour.
Yeah.
But it's been massive having you on here.
Yeah. If people are still listening, thanks for listening. This is a long time.
But yeah, it's been awesome to chat to you. Like, just give us some last words to go out on. Like,
okay.
Make sure you fucking guys follow her as well. Like, go follow her. Subscribe.
Yes.
Hit her up on Reddit if you don't want your missus to find out. She can just PayPal.
Don't do that. Respect your missus, bro. Yeah. Anyway, last words. To all the boys, be respectful of the girls on OnlyFans, please. And to any girls who are thinking about doing OnlyFans, message me if you want any advice or support. Be authentically yourself and just have fun with it, bro. And keep your day job, if you can, because this shit goes up and down. But thanks for listening.
Do you like the sausage?
I like that sausage.
You like the sausage?
I love the sausage.
Out of it.
Thank you, Jabez.
You're welcome. Tori, Kate, ladies and gentlemen.